Alright, what is going on, guys and girls? It's the Short Bear, and today we're going to talk about APDN. So APDM is a name that I traded last week, and which was just, awesome. If you add up the 2 days that I traded it, it added up to a profit of right around 15% on my big account, which, is a really massive gain. I think that should put APDN near my top ticker ever. All right, and I wanted to take some time today to talk about exactly what I saw. So the guys that are with me in chat in Mad as Money know how much conviction I had on this play and exactly how I traded it, when I avoided it completely, and I avoided the long at all cost, right? I didn't play it. I did not feel any FOMO because I knew the end game would be very, very, very bad for the long side, and I just didn't want to get caught in anything on the long side. So let's talk about exactly what I saw, what I thought, and go through the fundamentals together. So first of all, when you see a ticker like that, you've got to look back, right? You've got to find other tickers that behaved in the same way as the ticker you are watching, right? So the two tickers I thought about were BNGO, right? BNGO being a ticker that ran a few weeks ago, all right? So kind of out of nowhere on that day where it really started ripping and halting the whole time, and then had another running day on this day right here where it opened in the morning and then midday it just crashed down, and on this day, so on a pre-market this day they did an offering, right? So the next morning right away after a big run, after that, I thought about PSTV, right? PSTV, I think everyone should know this ticker from a few weeks back, a few months back actually, where we had that first run, and then on this day we started gapping up pre-market, being super strong, and then at the open we started moving down, 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 super heavy before having a midday offering. This one has kind of the same price range, APN stopped at like $18, $19, and then this one was in the same range pre-market right here near 20, so $18 I believe. So those are the two tickers. What do those three tickers, so APDN, PSTV, and BNGO, have in common? First of all, they all ran, right? PSTV ran pre-market, BNGO ran during the day, and both tickers, PSTV and BNGO, had not much locates out there, right? And now that you think about it, a ticker has basically two main reasons that it's going to run, right? Great news, where you've got real buyers, or a run where manipulators are in, and usually manipulators want a lot of shorts to be available, just because it's so much easier to basically rip it up, because shorts are emotional. They keep on shorting lows, they accumulate, and then they push them, take their stop to kind of get out of their size, so the manipulator out of their size, and then at one point they're going to start dumping what they accumulated. So those two tickers, so PSTV and BNGO, had also the same layout from the fundamental perspective, and that's what I'm going to show you right now, right? So PSTV needed to raise, all right? They needed to raise, and as you can see right here, you've got that S1 amended, S1 amended once more, right? You've got that first S1 from February the 1st, all right? And then it took basically 7 months, right, for the second, so for the S1 to get amended, and then it only took 6 days for it to get amended again, right? So just have to think they took 7 months, and then all of a sudden, within a week, you've got two amended S1s, right? So that is weird. Next thing you need to check out, the cash and the cash burn, and on PSTV you would have seen that they didn't have any cash left. All right, so after that, how long did it take for the offering to happen? It took until the 23rd, right? 23rd being 6 or 7 days after that amendment, which proves to you, all right, they amended it, and what they're going to do next, and that's a thing people don't really realize, and it took me a long time to kind of understand exactly what was going on. Before the offering drops, they're going to push it Best scenario, best case, exactly on PSTV, they're gonna rip it pre-market because it's just cheaper to do so. And then at the open, they're gonna dump what they accumulated during the pre-market run, all right, and they're gonna start shorting. Why do they short? Manipulators know that once they drop the offering, right, the price is gonna crash down. During that crash, they're not going to be able to dump shares, or at least not much, right? Just because the algos are working, all right, seeing the offering, just selling stock, people are panicking, and so on and so on, right? So to offset what they're going to lose by the drop of the offering, they're going to short before that. If the stock continues going up, they're going to make more money because they have the offering and they're able to dump those shares. But if we crash down because of the offering, they're going to make money on the short side, right? So no matter which way the stock goes, they're going to make money. So from there, now that you understand that, you know that once you see an S1 getting amended, a lot of times you're going to probably see an offering soon and they're going to rip it, right? So that's the thing you need to, the thing you need to kind of think about. Now let's look at APDN, exactly what we had. Ta-da, same thing, right? So S1, September the 18th, and then you see, all right, it took right around a month to kind of get the amendment, and then within basically 2 weeks, they amended it 3 times, right? Now, let's check, do they need cash or not, right? So 10Q, we're gonna go to cash flow, which is gonna give you the cash burn, right? 5 million within 9 months. I believe that's 565,000 per month. And that's we need to compare that to the cash situation, right? Do they have cash or not? And we're gonna see as of June they had 500,000 left. All right, so as of June being a few months ago, so gotta think July, August, September, November. It gives you 4 months, right? So 4 months of cash with this 565,000 cash burn per month. They are already down on money, right? So 3 months back, they don't have cash since 3 months ago. That's the first thing, and just that would be enough, right? Just that would prove you, all right, they don't have any cash. They need cash. How can they raise cash the easiest way? By using those as ones that are being amended, right? So that's the first thing. It's pretty easy, but somehow not many people know about it. That's the kind of thing we talk about in Mad is Money. So after that, the next best thing that we could have had, all right, happen too. So if you look right here on the 8K, you're going to see receives extension from Nasdaq. Keep an eye out for things like that. And you're going to see right here, right? Applied DNA Sciences, that's the name of the company, so APDN, blah, blah, blah. Announced that the Nasdaq hearing panel has granted the company an extension through December 31st. All right, for what, right? Well, it's to comply with the criteria for continued listing on the Nasdaq. Meaning, if they don't comply, they're going to get delisted, all right, to OTC, and that's going to be really bad for the company, all right? No company wants that. And you're going to see it includes the minimum bid of $1 and the 2.5 million stockholder equity requirement, all right? So that proves to me they need money and they need it bad. They have until the end of December to basically comply, which gives them right around a month left, right? So from now, right around a month. And they're not gonna wait until the last moment to get that cash to comply, right? They're gonna try to do it as soon as possible because if something doesn't work out, they still have to search for another solution. So right there, they don't have any cash. They're even red on the cash, right? They've got a cash burn of 565,000, and the only way they can do it is either a new loan, whatever, which would be pretty complicated, and they would get probably bad terms for that, and the other kind of solution would be an offering, all right? And then everything kind of comes together, right? So now it happened on other stocks before, right? So that's your first kind of tell. You've got to look back. You've got to track tickers, guys and girls, traders. And then you see same pattern, right? They need the cash really bad, really, really bad. Now they could do a loan, but on the other side, we've got the amendment on the S1 3 times within 2 weeks, right? Something is going on here. Something is going on. And then out of nowhere, we see that run with no news, with no shares to short, right? Goes completely berserk, just, starts ripping without any reason, right? And then you start to understand, wait a sec, that's gonna allow them to kind of hedge their position. At the same time, they're gonna get, they're gonna get cash because they don't have cash anymore, and they're gonna comply with the Nasdaq. Now, one question should be left that you might ask yourself, right? Why the hell would PSTV close strong if, whoops, not PSTV, I mean APDN, my bad. Why would APDN, if they have the offering and they want to hedge their stock, why the hell would it? I don't know why it's not working now, but you saw the chart just before. Why the hell would it close strong on that day, right? Why would APDN close strong? Well, there is one reason that people didn't see. And it's the S3, right? So if you look back, just scroll down throughout the prospectuses and registration, you're gonna see, all right, they have an S3 right here, right? They have an S3 amended, and if you look at it, you're like, wait a sec, they can't really raise off of that, right? So as you can see right here, amount to be registered and all, right? Might be, not usable on this one. But then you realize, wait a sec, they've got an S3 right here. Is it really linked to that S3, right? So you look at the S3, you click on SEC Edgar and the file number to see what is linked to that, and you're gonna see, all right, we've got an S3, right? But wait a sec, it's from 2015. And then you realize, oh, maybe, just maybe, the S3 is not linked, so the S3 here is not linked to the S3 amended, and you're gonna find out that indeed, it is not. Oh, this one is. Wait a second, guys. Just pull it up just before. Which one was it? So this S3 is for 25 million, as you can see right here, and they only raised on that 44B5 right here. That might be, yeah, that's just the layout. All right, so this one, you're gonna see they raised 4.5 million. Let's call it that. And on the other one, they raised 2.5 million. All right, so you have 7 million, right? 7 million is raised from that S3, and that means 25 million, right? And you subtract 7 million off of it, they can still raise 18 million off of that S3, right? Now, what you need to think about is, can they really raise that amount or not? We've got to check if they, dumped anything, did an offering within the last 12 months. The S1 doesn't count in this case because it's not subject to the baby shelf rule. And you're going to see, yeah, they've got one thing, right? They've got this 44B5 from, December 21st. And this is, just the layout for the 44B5. And that means, right, that they probably can't raise much, right? But the nice thing is that now that they have this higher closing price, right? So closing price was $19 and the float is 800K, right around there. Now that we have the new dilution, right? Now that we have this new offering that just hit for a total of 12 million and a total shares of 2.285, that once they get the stock gets diluted, right? Once they dump those shares, they're gonna have a bigger float, right? So 2.285 base case plus those 800,000, that's gonna bring you to 3 million. Let's just say 2.5 to be sure. That gives you a float that is 3 times bigger than it is now. That times the new close of 19 is gonna give you 47.5, right? So right around there. That is the MDPHS that you're gonna have. That is still under 75 million, right? But that amount divided by 3, right? So for 47 divided by 3 is going to give you, um, 16 million, right around there. That is the amount that they can raise, right? If you subtract that amount, so the amount that they raised through the S3, which is 2.5 million, it's still going to give you 13 million that they can still raise through the S3. And even if the float doesn't get diluted, whatever, right? This is from the 21st, right? They can use that high closing price of $19 within the next 60 days, right? So 60 days from the offering, it's going to give you, right around January until then to use that closing price. And once we are over, that period, that date, they're going to be able to use the whole amount, the whole 1/3 of that NDPHS, and that's huge, right? So they can pretty much raise nothing to dropping on S1. So the offering there to get the money to stay listed, and at the same time, through that high closing price that they managed to get, they're going to be able to dump 16 million shares if they dilute the whole float, all right? So the whole offering into the float, they're going to be able to use 16 million more shares, right? More to raise. So it doesn't really matter if they put out an ATM for 16 million or if they do it with whatever, common stock, warrants, convertibles, whatever, right? So those things doesn't really matter, but they're gonna be able to raise that amount. So you know that's the whole picture you need to see, right? Technicals are just not enough for those kind of plays. You're gonna be in such a world of pain if you start longing stuff like that, overnighting and all, not knowing about possibility of an offering or whatever. And I think what I just told you is just very logical, right? It's not that complicated. You see the cash burn. Are they compliant with the Nasdaq ruling, listing rules? Did they raise before? Do they have an S1 that they can use or an S3 that they can use? And just do the math and you're gonna see, all right, this is actually predictable, this is doable, right? It's not that hard. And yeah, that's exactly why I had so much conviction. It's not luck, it's not I think this might happen. It's just I look at the data, I look at the stocks that ran in the past, I analyze everything, and it gives me a clear idea of what they need to do. All right, so if they want to stay listed, they need to raise. How much can they raise? Through what kind of registration statement can they raise? And how much do they need to raise to stay listed or to get cash and stay listed, or just to get cash in general, right? So this one, APN, is one of 3 tickers I swung this year. All right, I nearly never swing, but on this one, just everything came together, the technicals and the fundamentals, to give me an A+++ setup. All right, so the highest grade setup for me, and really play it big. So all in all, just brought me like 15% on my account, which is pretty huge, right? That's pretty huge. I think I had maybe the total of like 5 days that were this big this year, right around there. And that should help me break my best month ever as well. I am, more than halfway there. So I think I'm like with like Friday and all, I'm at 70% of my best month, and we still have half the month left, right? So if we get this kind of action, if this kind of action continues, it's going to be a really, really nice month. But I'm gonna just take a step back after this week. So the total of this week is like 30% on my account. Usually after a period like that, my confidence just gets bigger and bigger, grows, and I'm usually get a pretty big slap following a period like that. Not like giving back my whole profit, but just losses that are bigger than what I should take. Just because you take big winners, doesn't mean you have to take big losers, right? If you work with a risk reward setup, and then if you just follow your rules, it shouldn't happen. But usually I take a pretty sizable loss, bigger than it should be. Doesn't mean big. Um, and I really want to avoid that, right? So we had great setups, it doesn't mean that I have to continually push. Let's just hope for great setups, and we're gonna keep on playing like we are right now. I think my biggest loss was like 0.5% or something this week, and total like a 30% plus, which is just amazing. So let's just keep it that way. All right, that's gonna be it for this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the like button, and if you have any questions, just don't hesitate to ask me your question in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.